So I'm in eastern Ukraine right now. Last night I was in our apartment getting ready for this trip, and we hear the air raid siren going off, and almost immediately we hear 3 boom, boom, boom right above our apartment. The place was shaking. And I went to the window because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Just to see. I saw the contrails of the air defenses missiles going up, and looked straight up above our apartment, and I could see 3 clouds where the missiles had been intercepted. A little while later, we look outside and realize that one of the pieces of the missiles that had been intercepted had fallen and hit a building not too far across the street from us. And there was a fire started, and we watched over the next several hours as that fire built stronger and stronger and took a building down. It was in the middle of a forest. We're kind of worried that maybe that would catch on further, but everybody had it under control. Then I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. We drove 8 hours out here, and we're serving. And just a minute ago, I could hear the air raid siren going off in the village or the town near us. But it's also kind of always going off. It was like probably the 5th or 6th time I've heard it today. And last time we were here, we heard it just constantly. So, what's your last 24 hours been like? Every 3 to 5 weeks, a chaplain-led team makes the 8-hour trip out to eastern Ukraine, as close to the front lines as we can go. We make thousands of portions of food, and we take thousands of dollars of supplies, and we give it all to soldiers for free. But as anyone in our team will tell you, our main goal is to be an encouragement to those who are risking their lives defending Ukraine. The team has been making this trip for 4 years, and I got to start joining them a year and a half ago. For soldiers who are serving on the front lines, fresh food is always a huge blessing, as they're regularly hungry and they're limited to preserved or packaged food, which gets really old really fast. And so when we have our soup with fresh ingredients or homemade Ukrainian foods to heat up on a grill, or this little thing we call a breakfast burrito, it can really hit the spot. In the last couple of months, we've had 4 or 5 young guys who started coming on these trips. These guys were counting down the days till they turned 18 so that they could come, so they could serve. And they work hard, they jump at it, they are just enthusiastic, joyful. I am so proud to be able to serve alongside them. So I have been able to become a critical member of this team, and that is because I have a great team behind me that does a ton of work before I ever get in the car to drive out here. On my first 2 trips, I noticed that there were 2 hours in the mornings when we didn't have any food ready. I told Jana about this, and she said, hey, we should make breakfast burritos that I could heat up in the oven before we left in the morning, and they'd be ready to go. So we figured for it to be worth it, we need to make 80 to 120 burritos. So we're gonna need help. We asked the director of New Generation School if some of the older kids could help us, and she asked if all of the kids in the school could help me get ready for my trips. So we thought of a few more ways to keep the kids busy, and we get started. The kids love helping the soldiers. They're drone operators who drop food and necessities to soldiers in the hottest locations by drone. A Ziploc is often the best way to deliver these things, and so we make drone packets, about 100 of them. Again, the kids at the school are the ones who help us put them together. 1 or 2 of the youngest classes help us make trail mix, and then the 4th graders will load up the Ziplocs with wet wipes, some kind of meat, some kind of fruit, trail mix, coffee, protein bar, oatmeal, ibuprofen, and in the cold season, some cold medicine. And when my mom, dad, aunt, and uncle and friend came to Ukraine a few months back, they also helped us load up some of the drone packets. And they were almost as good as the 4th graders. When she can, Jana will make a whole pile of desserts for us to take. And then I have to spend the trip trying to keep our team from eating all of it because, as anyone will tell you, they are just so good. Now Jana makes stuff specifically for the team too, so that I have things for the soldiers, I have things for the team. A little over a year ago, I invited Donna, a friend of ours, to join me. And after her first trip, she connected with a pharmacist that she knows to think through the most needed medicines right now. The pharmacist is able to find the best prices and get the quantities needed. And it's been really appreciated. So I've been making these trips to eastern Ukraine for the last year and a half. And I'm gonna be honest, what we are able to bring, what we're able to give out and do is so incredibly small compared to the need, but it means a lot. So I just gave out the last of these combat application tourniquets that I brought on this trip, and I'd actually found 2 in the car, and the guys who grabbed them, I took those last 2 in the bag, and the guy stopped and he's just like, I want you to know a lot of people give us the cheap tourniquets that break, and our guys just throw them away because they're worthless. But you gave us the tourniquets that actually save our lives. It means a lot. The only chance we get to sit around as a team and just talk is Saturday night when we stop a little bit earlier. We're done around 5. And tonight we sat around the table and we shared stories and reflections of our time here. And it was interesting how many people brought up different soldiers who had told them in different ways that they think that we have saved their lives. Some of them have said, you know, you guys talked me into staying for 5 minutes extra, or maybe 30 minutes extra. And 5 minutes before I actually got to the place I was going, they got hit. And if you hadn't stopped with you guys, I would have been dead. And one guy today told one of our teammates that prayer saved his life. One of our chaplains had come up to him when we were on one of our trips and said, "Can I pray with you?" And that convinced him that he could pray on his own. And he was praying and something happened and he didn't think he should have survived, but he did. And so he's convinced that prayer saved his life. Your support helps us to make these trips, and it matters. Thank you.